All right, NAIA football fans, we are back for another week here on the NAIFBALL live show, powered by AdGraph Custom Apparel and Merch, your custom apparel, merch, and uniform experts since 1974. John, we got a little bit of love this week from the folks over in Clinton, Iowa, and AdCraft shirts with our faces on the back.
Absolutely. It's fantastic seeing your own mug up there, even
It's a little weird, isn't it?
Even if it's a little ugly mug, but it's your mug.
It's a little weird.
And they're able to do it, and there's a lot of beautiful people out in the world that could have their face on a shirt and the high quality that AdCraft breeds.
In point of fact, the shirt that I'm wearing tonight is one that was out of the Grandview web store a couple of years ago. I'm usually not an Americana guy, but this is really cool.
Absolutely.
So, John, we had a lot of good games going on this week, and had a few upsets. And man, let's take this one out first. What's up with Arizona Christian changing conferences?
That's a really weird one to me because the Frontier's already
geographically isolated.
weird, and then bringing, I could understand if it was an FCS conference where, Northern Arizona's in the big sky.
Right.
But we're talking NAI where geography is your friend.
So my thought is that it wouldn't surprise me to see Ottawa of Arizona changing conferences as well.
Right. What if the Frontier tries to absorb the Sooner and go 2 divisions?
That would not be a bad idea. That would honestly not be a bad idea. Or at least do some sort of scheduling alliance.
Right.
That would be helpful. But yeah, no, that is, and man, I got ripped when I said it was interesting on Twitter. Why I said it was interesting was the geography.
Right. Absolutely.
And if it were Ottawa, it'd been the same dang thing. But let's
far away.
A nice backdrop, Roger says. Yeah, you should recognize that one a little bit, Roger. That's home turf for you a little bit there. All right, so let's take a look here if I can find the right screen. St. Thomas, St. Xavier. Man, this one wasn't that close.
Not at all. What a statement by St. Thomas. We talked about it last week. St. Xavier was coming off a horrific loss to Indianapolis, and St. Thomas basically comes on in and kicks a man when they're down and kept them down.
Yeah, absolutely. St. Thomas with 13 tackles for a loss. They were getting in the backfield the entire time. 4 sacks, limits St. Xavier to 3 of 22 in 3rd and 4th down situations.
Yeah, St. Xavier couldn't get anything going on the ground game. Very efficient passing the ball. But we know the offensive line, run blocking, wins championships.
Yeah. Rontavious Farmer with 20 attempts for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns is, man, that'll do it every time, man.
That's a huge win. If you're St. Thomas, you're rooting for St. Xavier now to, get it going and win some games.
100%. That's exactly what you would want to see there would be St. Xavier actually, getting a little bit. I tell you the one that was a little bit surprising to me, and I don't know that it should have been, given who it is, but St. Francis was very, very clearly.
Man, they must have heard us circle this game all offseason.
Holy cow.
They rubbed our nose.
Because, man, it was St. Francis, Indiana from the jump. It wasn't close. They swarmed Sam Tumblety. They were bringing pressure from every which way, and the St. Francis Saints had no answer for the defensive onslaught of the Cougars.
Yeah, the front 7 for St. Francis was absolutely nasty. Or Indiana.
Yeah.
Cougars.
Yeah. Heath Simmons was very good. 24-32, 3 touchdowns, and 260 yards through the air. Man, is St. Francis of Indiana back?
I have to see a little bit more of them, but the fact that they just handled the Mid-State Football Association West Division team, Midwest team over there, the Midwest over there looks really bad right now.
We'll see what happens. We're going to
we thought that side was starting to come up a little bit.
Yeah. We'll have to see. There's a game this week that will either keep that at bay a little bit, or it'll prove the point. And at this point, I'm not sure. Montana Western and Dickinson State. This one was close until really all of a sudden it wasn't.
Yeah, really disappointed in Dickinson State. I'm sure, obviously, their players and staff are too with the 2 out-of-conference games they've had. I don't know if they have another one coming up. But we highly expect Dickinson State to compete for another North Star championship and win that usual thing. But the perspective of the North Star is obviously still not going to be hot here when your champion is, not doing hot out conference.
Yeah, and this is the same way it was last year. And here's the thing. Dickinson State still has a really good shot to just run the table, make the playoffs, and get back to exactly where they're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Can they do that? Will the rest of the North Star allow them to do that? That is the question. Now, another one that was a little disappointing for me, especially after the first quarter, was Mississippi College and Kaiser. It was 19-0 Mississippi after the first quarter. Now, credit Kaiser's defense for keeping them in the ball game. It was only 26-8 at the end. But again, this is a D2 squad. That's a fairly good D2 squad. Kaiser is going to get punished for the loss.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to take a fair drop here. Really disappointed after, they took number 2 to a wire in Division II, which Valdosta State ended up losing.
Right.
So it had an effect on them, too, that battle. You know
it's
what I'm
either
saying?
that or it's Valdosta State, who we thought they were.
I think they're going to be pretty good still. I think Valdosta State, Mississippi's a solid middle-of-the-road team, I think, in the Gulf South. I do think Valdosta State bounces back, which I think is going to say a lot about Kaiser. That's grueling trips, if you think about it, from West Palm Beach all the way to Valdosta, and then
back to West Palm.
Yeah, back to West Palm, and then West Palm all the way up to, I don't even know where Mississippi College is, but I think it's in North Mississippi.
And then you go back home to West Palm, and then you have to go all the way out to Lindenwood.
Right.
This
is the FCS team. So Kaiser will probably drop out of the top 25 if they don't get a win this week.
Absolutely grueling schedule.
It's grueling, but I think it's going to pay dividends when they get in their Sun Conference schedule.
Yeah, I
they
definitely
start getting the local games.
I definitely see Kaiser just putting it on everyone else, especially if they play like they did against Valdosta.
Right.
The battle of the 4-letter acronyms out west. Ottawa of Arizona in the nightcap beats Sagu 39-12. Ottawa of Arizona did a really good job keeping Keaton Dudek in check. Did not get 100 yards either on the ground or through the air or receiving. Touched the ball 28 times for 128 total yards in the game. Only 2.5 yards per rush as a team. And if you're Ottawa of Arizona, that's how you end up winning the Sooner, is stuff like that.
I agree with that. And, Sagu was playing close early in the game there. And just Ottawa, Arizona took over offensively. And how about Isaiah Randall?
He did not start again.
Right, but how about him? You know what I'm saying?
I know. He did. But here's the thing. They put him in.
And how about holding
Keaton
Dudek to
Dudek,
I can't pronounce the name right. I apologize. To basically under 3 yards a carry.
Yeah, that is key there. Randall comes in, and all of a sudden, Ottawa's offense starts picking up.
Right.
I don't think that's a coinky-dink.
No, not at all.
I think
Ottawa is starting to show that they're almost in the class of their own when we're waiting for the Texas Wesleyan game.
Oh man, that's going to be that's a circle game this week. Grandview Baker. This one that's a large 20 points.
Yeah, how about that Grandview defense? They bounced back from basically a week ago, right, to Benedictine, giving up 40-plus
points. Yeah.
And, they come in against a top 10 team and allow under 200 total yards, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback's 10 of 20 for 97 yards. That's 5 yards per attempt, which is
Yeah, you're not
minuscule.
getting very vertical passing game there. And, it's hard to run on Grandview anyways, but
Yeah.
if you don't get more than your featured back 50 yards, you know what I'm saying? It's tough.
And credit to Grandview's offense, who honestly, they had to play a clean game.
Right.
And they did. No sacks allowed, no turnovers, no fumbles at all, no interceptions.
That's a recipe for a 20-0 win.
That's how you do it. Now, one that was over quick was Morningside Dordt.
Yeah. This was, we waited till I think 6 p.m., 7 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern
that's
time.
7 p.m. kick.
Late kick out of there in the GPAC. Usually they're noon games. Joe Dolenchek just does what he does, man. He just, like we say, when Morningside faces Northwestern has to play their best, and Morningside has to be off. Well, Dordt did not play their best at all.
Not
they
at
couldn't
all.
flip the field in punting. They had 4 turnovers, and they couldn't stop Morningside. Morningside just did what they wanted to do.
Morningside came out, and that vertical passing game with Zach Norton was there from the get-go. They got him and Schweiger going, and it was all over but the crying. Dolenchek, man, 10 yards per attempt every week. That man is a machine. It's just absurd. But, John, you know what else is really absurd? Is how these numbers with dadgum leading edge is how I keep getting numbers that keep going up every week.
106,000.
Now that's Erskine College.
Yeah,
now that's
South Carolina, D2
that's a
school.
D2 school
Who
with
is similar to NAIA. Let's be real.
With a very NAIA heavy staff. That's an old
Right.
Southeastern Fire staff that's there. In
Absolutely.
1 hour, they raised $106,000. Guys, this is happening too often to be flukes.
That's crazy.
At some point,
I would love to see them beat this, but I doubt that's going to happen.
I would too. I'm just going to say, at this point, we've said this enough to where it's not a fluke. These teams that are able to do this, these athletic programs are able to do this in 1 hour. You're able to make $100,000 in some cases. This should be a no-brainer.
Yeah, maybe they'll hire me.
Yeah, I'll fundraise myself here. And we are so thankful to Leading Edge and their hour-a-thon for sponsoring our Top 25 Media poll, which I'll call it a shaking out. There are a lot of new teams in there, but most of the teams that are coming in are ones that have been hanging around.
Excited to see the reactions to this.
So coming in from number 25 is Olivet Nazarene, finally making it in, even on a bye after a loss. I mean, you're running out of teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of parity. Honestly, I can't believe they're in there, but they are very talented. They were not on my ballot. Were they on yours?
They're on mine, but they're the only Midwest team that's in here. I mean, you almost feel like you got to have a representative.
I could find somebody. I could find somebody else. I'd rather take the Faulkner Eagles.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Number 24.
At least I have a winning record.
That's true. Talking about a winning record, Bethel of Kansas dispatching friends in what was a tight one.
Yeah, a former coach comes over from last year and takes the L. And Coach Harrison's going to have those Friends Falcons right, though. He's just got to have time, just like he did with Bethel.
It takes a while to get the right offensive linemen in place.
I watched a little bit of the clips from the game. I didn't get to watch the whole game, but Bethel is physical as piss. They are so physical. That weird. Offensive line, man.
It is really weird not seeing them running.
They fire off the ball. That's
because they're used to cutting at ankles.
I know, but they fire off the ball.
So, we'll see what Coach Stokes has over there, and if he's able to. And it takes some time to get out of the triple option.
Right, I agree.
In that flex bone. St. Thomas comes in new at 1-1 after they beat St. Xavier. Well deserved in this case here. Just go up to Chicago and beat a team who was struggling.
Yeah, they definitely deserve that. Especially they almost beat. Oh man, if they beat Butler, they're probably in our top 10.
Yeah, no, without a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, Butler's a good squad. I mean, yes, it is a Pioneer squad,
right.
but it's a fairly good FCS squad. Siena Heights at 22. They
Their
have
defense has gotten them there. Hopefully their offense keeps
That's-
coming along with them.
They're yeah, absolutely. That's how it's got to be. Montana Tech. What the Frontier right now in the voting, I think, is just as scrambled as the standings of the actual Frontier.
Yeah, so I think Montana Tech should have been way higher.
I believe so as well. I mean, they're them and College of Idaho are
The top two.
the two undefeated teams
Right.
in
I hope
the
when
Frontier.
you flip the page, Carroll's not there, but they probably are.
They're not.
Okay.
They were number 26 in the
So
poll. They're
guys,
the
if
first
you
one
didn't
receiving
know,
votes.
this is the first time I see it too. So you're getting my raw reaction. Corey's definitely seen it because he orchestrated.
I do the math.
Yeah.
So if the math's wrong, it's totally my fault. So y'all can come at me and I will deserve it. Dort at number 20 drops back.
The good news for Dort, Corey, is they still have the Northwestern game.
Yeah.
If you beat Northwestern and round out, you make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's very true. Dort gains or loses 4 spots.
I don't think it's going to be like that 2020 season where they lose to both of them close, which they've already got blown out. Even if they lose Northwestern close, I don't think they make the playoffs. I think that's a must-win.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it is because they didn't play Morningside that close.
Right, absolutely.
At number 19, Texas Wesleyan gains 3 spots in their win.
We're waiting for that OU-AZ matchup. I don't know when it's on the schedule, but I know it's coming close. Yep.
At number 18, College of Idaho holds serve. They travel to Southern Oregon in their matchup this week. The Yotes just keep on going. Benedictine rises 3 spots to number 17 after their win. Did you see their jerseys this week?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Seems like Benedictine. You talk about some other teams, but it's like Benedictine's back.
Dude, I love the overhaul of the uniforms. I love the new look on the offense. I just think it's a really they're doing a really good job honoring the past while looking to the future.
Absolutely.
At number 16 is Montana Western, 2-1 there.
Who's they started out with a close loss to Carroll. Who, when I said Carroll on the next page, I just hope they weren't ranked higher than Montana Tech because they lost.
Right.
But Montana Western, they're a tough team. I think they probably need to be the back of College Idaho and Montana Tech.
I would agree.
But, I mean, 2 impressive weeks from them regardless.
Absolutely. They are going to play MSU Northern, so we'll see how everything shakes out afterwards. At number 15, Reinhardt loses a spot, but I don't think that's due to them. I think that's due to everybody else around them.
Well, they play Point this week, so they'll keep gradually rising up, especially as they get the more Appalachian games.
This one surprised me. Baker falls back 6 spots.
Well, I mean, I think that's worth it if you lost 20-0.
And to be fair, they haven't,
because you feel like Baker's a one-dimensional team right now.
Their
as far
offense
as the defense carrying them.
Exactly. Their offense hasn't come along yet this season. It will at some point, but it hasn't been there yet. Ottawa of Arizona at number 13 gains 2 spots after dispatching Sagu, and we'll talk about them in a little bit who they face.
All right.
And at number 12, Southwestern wins their matchup convincingly, and
the defense for them is rolling.
Brad Cagle, the Coyote Killer,
There you go.
did a great job there. They play St. Mary. I feel like we're just waiting on the 4 teams to play each other.
Right, absolutely.
Bethel, Kansas Wesleyan, Southwestern, and Avila.
I think KCAC this year is only going to get 1 in 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll see when we get there. Especially if St. Francis shows that they are indeed back, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, I think that Mid-East is going to eat up a lot of at-large beds, especially Siena Heights coming up.
Speaking of the Mid-East, tied for 10th is Concordia of Michigan. They rise a spot in the polls, and they play Roosevelt in the crossover game.
Well, that's the game you're probably talking about.
And then at number 10, tied for 10th with Concordia, is Bethel. They go up 3 spots in the polls. I feel like this is just a little bit of an elastic jump here.
Yeah, well, I think the Reinhardt win's still showing a lot of value, and it's going to carry for Bethel. The big thing is they have Georgetown, Lindsey Wilson. If they split those two, they're in. No
Yeah,
matter who wins the division.
Yeah, I think you're right there. That's another division that could definitely eat up some wins. Number 9, Kaiser drops back 3 spots at 1 and 2. You got to win this week.
Yeah, they're lower on mine just for the fact of, they did lose. I don't think you should get punished severely for, playing up as an NAIA team.
I did not the first week when they lost to Valdosta, I held them there. That was one thing. Losing again here, I dropped them back a little bit more. I feel like if they do end up losing to Lindenwood, they've got to come back. They've got to come back more.
I just don't know. As much as I love Kaiser, I think they have a great shot of winning their division. It's going to be hard for me to put a 1 and 3 team in the top 25.
It really is. Tell you who's not 1 and 3 is Kansas Wesleyan, who just
traditionally just powering on,
steady whipping people. Georgetown at number 7 rises 2 spots. They have a date with the Eagles of Faulkner this week. That's going to be a fun one.
Both teams coming off a bye week.
Indiana Wesleyan at number 6 rises a spot despite having a bye week. That 0-1 team, just haven't seen it yet. They've got a show me game this week. And then the top 5 is the top 5 is the top 5, except that we have a tie.
Yeah.
Lindsey Wilson at number 5 holds serve. Northwestern gains a spot back. They tie with Marion at 3, and Grandview at 2, and Morningside at 1.
And I think that's as fair as it gets for that top 5. I think each one of them has an argument, except for Morningside, Grandview. They're locked in at 1 and 2. Through the 2 teams tied at 3 and 5, you could shuffle them. I don't think anyone can have an argument.
Yep, and we will be back after this message from AdCraft.
So you want to create and sell custom merch for your team or business. That's exciting, but where do you begin? How much inventory should you order? How do you distribute orders? AdCraft has your answers. Streamline the way you offer custom merch by utilizing our risk-free web store service. We ship directly to each customer, and we have the fastest turnaround in the game. Raise funds for your team or get merch to your employees and patrons. Contact AdCraft today, and let's bring your merch to life.
And welcome back here. John, I want you to have a look at this field. It's not exactly
my ankle hurts looking at it.
It's not exactly what you want, is it?
Yeah, I see a hole out there in the middle of the field.
That looks painful. That does not look painful. That's
Absolutely.
the same spot, 1 year apart.
That's crazy.
And you know what the difference is? That's a Maumee Bay Turf Nation field right there. You talk about that, and not only are you talking about a long-term investment that will save you money in the long run, I can't imagine the quality that's going to bring you in the injury department as well.
Well, believe it or not, turf does cause
it does
some
cause
injuries with the hyperextensions and whatever. But I will say, just the fact that the maintenance is out of the way. You can house all your sports teams on there. Usually football coaches get mad when soccer teams get on the field or field hockey.
Rip up their turf.
It rained on Thursday night and soccer team practiced that morning. I got a game Saturday. So, all about the turf.
Yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely what you got to do here. But man, thanks to Maumee Bay Turf and Turf Nation, they sponsor our offensive and defensive players of the week, and
Let's get 'em.
I got to tell you, no one offensively was going to touch Tim Salmon.
How about the Mayville State Comets coming out winning a game against a D3 opponent? I think second straight one in a row. They are explosive on offense.
Yeah.
Their quarterback coach is a pretty big TikTok star.
Oh dear.
I cannot remember his name right now, and I feel bad because the guy is way more popular than I am. But, he has those quarterbacks ripping it, and I hope he talks about it on his TikTok a little bit.
525 yards and 7 touchdowns is
the fact that they beat Nebraska Wesleyan, though.
That's going to get you. That's going to get it every time. They've got some good games coming up. You got
Could Mayville challenge for the North Star?
ooh, doggy. That's well, you play away at Dickinson in 2 weeks.
Jeez.
If you beat Dickinson, all hell is going to break loose in the North Star.
Jeez.
That would be a sight. Oh, they have to play them twice too.
Yeah.
That's woo. That's gonna be a toughie. And then our defensive is going to be Jordan Francis, 3 interceptions. There were actually 3 players who had 3 interceptions apiece this week. Jordan Francis was just the first one of them, and so I was able to get the email off soonest.
Yeah.
The other 2 were Evangel players in a game in which Culver Stockton threw 8
That's
interceptions.
insane. Yeah, you're not going to win like that.
Now, people might get mad at me for saying hats off to Culver Stockton's defense,
All right.
but they only allowed 26 points.
Jeez.
On 8 interceptions, you
Yeah.
ought to be getting more than 26 points.
Absolutely, a lot more. You're
So,
flipping the field,
Credit,
getting way
all
more
credit
opportunities.
to Culver Stockton's defense. Obviously, credit to Evangel's defense to pick off 8 passes.
Right.
I mean, is absolutely absurd. But congratulations to Jordan Francis against Fort Lewis there. Just a great performance for that young man in his first game, actually. Seeing playing time with Arizona Christian. That's telling you, Coach. Coach, I think you ought to keep me in the lineup.
Absolutely.
And so we have some games to watch. We have some good games this week. Maybe not as many as last week, but the quality is going to be there. You've got Indiana Wesleyan that's going to be playing
That's the game
at
you're
Olivet
talking about.
Nazarene.
Yeah.
That's the show me game.
If Olivet Nazarene wants a playoff run to make it, I think it's a win. You got Indiana Wesleyan coming at your place.
Yeah.
You got to win. What about the Faulkner Eagles hosting Georgetown?
Not hosting.
Okay, not hosting. They're
Not
on the
hosting.
way. Okay.
It's at Georgetown.
At Georgetown.
That's going to be a toughie, I think, for Faulkner.
I think
Oliver's
so too.
got Georgetown doing some stuff.
I think Faulkner's defense needs to really show here because they had a terrible performance for Reinhardt.
Bethel Kansas Wesleyan is fascinating to me. Bethel in the last 2 games has started really, really slow. They will not be afforded that privilege.
No, I like I said, I think the KCAC only gets 1 team in this year.
Yeah. Now, these last 2 games are my biggies this week.
And I will say that the Sooner is in the same boat. Only 1 team's getting in.
Oh yeah.
So this is like
This is it.
It's must win almost.
Yeah, Ottawa at Texas Wesleyan. This is the put up or shut up game here. For the Sooner. And if Texas Wesleyan wins, they're in the driver's seat.
Right. And then you got Montana Tech traveling over the Rocky Mountain. But Montana, right? I'm trying to think which one.
They're somewhere in Montana. There's
Yeah.
a lot of these little Montana towns. I'm sorry, guys. I do love Montana Tech Stadium.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. And look, I think Montana Tech is going to be. I think they're going to be a winner here. Rocky is
Billings, I'm sorry.
It's in Billings. Okay.
I don't know if it's in Billings or not, but I will check. I get the frontier towns confused.
Oh, me too.
But might be Montana Tech.
It's a long way away. I'm gonna go Indiana Wesleyan,
Yep,
Georgetown,
it's at Montana Tech, but it's Montana Tech. I can't believe I forgot that.
Butte, Montana.
Butte.
I'm gonna go IWU, Georgetown, KW, TW, and Montana Tech here.
I'm going Indiana Wesleyan, Georgetown, Kansas Wesleyan, Texas Wesleyan, and I'm going to go with Rocky Mountain.
You're gonna hey, look, Nathan Dick's got that team rolling. If he gets
Absolutely.
going, Montana Tech could definitely lose. That's one that we'll be keeping our eyes on. Man, there's some. I just get excited over these games. We're getting to see some of the playoffs start to whittle themselves
I
down.
feel like you're going to get like we'll have the bubble watch already ready by midseason.
You know it though. So, John, my favorite segment of the show is here, and this is
Go ahead.
it's the patrons. They're the best. Thank you so much to all of them.
I'll let you read it out this week.
All right, we got DSU Cone, Danielle Quinn, Darren, Bob Boone, Roger Meyer, Jeremy Vobble, Shirley LaBella, Fred Christensen, Alex Garcia, Jerry Quickle, Jody Hoagland, Austin Steele, Cordell, Ace Wellen, Marty Seabolt, Justin Cobb, Dane, Nick Ryan, Hayden Ferrigno, Jeff, Kyle Gregory, Tyler Pierce, Justin Hoffman, Steve Speakman, Coach D67, Brian Shake, Lance Demond, Monty Mustang, Frank Dolancheck, Julianne Shager, and JGLB 43. You know, that seems like a linebacker number there. LB43, you reckon that might be a linebacker
Might be
of
a
some
linebacker.
sort?
2 initials with the linebacker initials.
I think that might be a linebacker, but man alive. This season has been so much fun, and it's just going to continue. I just hope we aren't getting all our excitement out now.
Yeah, well, you know, when you had, I feel like the best games of the GPAC already been played. You only got one more with Morningside Northwestern and Dordt. But I feel like the mid states have a lot of football left to be played. The Frontier is week in, week out, the best conference as far as just competitiveness. And I think the North Star is a mystery this year.
The Frontier is chaos personified. It's insane. Chris Weiner said, "Hats off to Grandview from a Baker fan. They're solid in every facet." That is definitely true. Arizona Christian got whooped so bad they left conferences. I don't know. They were in the playoffs not that long ago as the Sooner rep.
Yeah, that was just a business move.
Absolutely, I think that's a good move for them to because now you're getting out of the Sooner and what that and that negative perception of the Sooner. And the Frontier, while it still has a little bit of a negative perception, those if you know, you know.
Well, at least you've had a team that's won the most NAIA national championships in the Frontier.
Yeah.
A team that's won an NAIA national championship in the past 10 years over there at Southern Oregon. I think Frontier has a lot of upside for Arizona Christian.
They definitely do. It's going to be another wait and see kind of deal there to see if there's any more realignment. I do hate it for the Sooner though, because they were really trying to get up there to that 12, and that's with Arizona Christian leaving. That's going to be a lot more difficult for them unless you can somehow convince OCU and USAO to take up football. I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
No, not at all.
Or maybe someone like an Oklahoma Wesleyan, but that's still going to be tough. I mean, this is a tough road to hoe for the Sooner. You're finding teams, but yet you're having trouble increasing the level of play.
I agree.
So, well, keep it locked on our Twitter feed.
Yeah, send DMs, guys. I've been DMing people all throughout the show. We're excited to talk to you guys, build the community. But anyways, Corey, I'm excited for this Saturday, and you guys take care.